Hello guys, in this video I will be teaching you how to 3D model a LED lamp using this LED lamp kit from MakerWorld in Fusion 360. So let's get straight into it without wasting any time. So let's start by creating a new project, a part design, create new. First of all, we will just create a sketch. We can choose any plane, it doesn't really matter. I'll just click this plane. I'm gonna go with the circle icon, click the center, and I've already taken the dimensions of the LED lamp. It is 60 millimeters in diameter, but we also need to construct some walls for it. So I'm just creating a circle of 65 millimeters in diameter. And I'm gonna extrude it by 3 millimeters, so the base has some thickness. Now the actual LED lamp is 60 millimeters in diameter, but when you're 3D printing things, you need some clearances because sometimes the part doesn't fit exactly well inside. So I've tested the clearances myself, and the best clearance that worked was about 0.2 millimeters. So I'll just do 60.2 millimeters from the same center point. Now I will just extrude it. I will not extrude the circle, I will extrude the outer edge. To get that, you can use the zoom icon and just zoom in a bit, and then click on the extrude icon, and this is the profile I'm talking about. Wait, yeah, this one. So let's just extrude it by 9 millimeters in height, because the actual lamp, this LED lamp, is about 7 to 8 millimeters, like its height is 7 to 8 millimeters. So we're just creating a box for it so it can sit perfectly inside. Okay, so now this is very basic. Now what we need to do is go to the outer edge of one of these. So I'll just click sketch, click on the top of the outer edge, like this. Now, what I'm trying to do here is see this cable of this LED lamp. I'm trying to make a hole for the cable, because if we print just this object here, it won't make way for the cable. So I'm just creating space for the cable. So you can go to create and select a center rectangle, and you can go to any of these spaces, any of the place in the outer edge. I'm just going for a place where it's easier to see the lines. Like, I'm not going anywhere random. I'm just going on this space. Yeah, the red line. And I'm just creating a circle, a rectangle. And it doesn't matter what length the rectangle is, because we're just gonna cut it through. But the width should be 3.2 millimeters according to the cable. It's about 3.13 millimeters, so 3.2 is good for clearance. So let's just create that. Click extrude, click the profile. So you can just click the middle profile, it doesn't really matter, but I'll just click all three. And what's happening here is, let me show you the side view. So you can just drag the arrow down, but not too down so it cuts in the base. We know the height of this is 9 millimeters, so I'm just going to put -9. So if I just change the view of this, let me just zoom out really quickly. Yeah, so we have a slit for the cable. So now this was the simple part done. Now the actual part comes in, which is what I found tough in the beginning because I don't know how to make threads. Threads is probably the most difficult part of this tutorial, and it's not that difficult, it's just weird and complicated sometimes. So I'm just creating another circle. I'll make it 63.5 millimeters in diameter. And I'll just tell you what I'm doing in just a sec. I'll extrude and cut. I just need that outer edge. And I'm gonna subtract it by 5 millimeters like that. So what I've done here is created space for a thread. A thread is basically something you can find on a nut and bolt, and on a nut the threads are outside, on a bolt they're inside, and we're just creating the same mechanism. So when we create the thread and create another part with the inverse of the thread, we can tightly fit a lamp's head on it. Go to create, find the thread option, and click the outer edge right here. And remember to click modeled. If you don't click modeled, it would be a cosmetic threads just for looks and it won't actually do anything. So definitely click modeled. And I've tested the variations of these. The best, in my opinion, for 3D printing works is M64 times 2 or times 3. Well, the diameter depends on your model, but like either 2 or 3. For this particular model, I will go for 2 because that worked best for me. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to Shop Therapy, a really popular 3D modeler who I learned threads from. So just click OK. Everything else we can just leave as is. So that's that. Now, this is the first part complete. This is the base of the 3D model, the base of this lamp. So the lamp can sit perfectly inside this, and you can 3D print this, test this, and tell me if it works for you or not. It worked for me. So this is the bottom base complete. We don't need to touch it anymore. Well, we do need it for the 3D model, but if you want to print it, you can. Now for the upper part, the actual lamp bit where the light diffracts and everything, for that it will sit comfortably on this part, like the part where my arrow is, there. So we are constructing a sketch on that very space right there. Create sketch and go to the circle icon, and 65 millimeters in diameter, like the whole thing, as is. Finish sketch. Now, sometimes when extruding this above the model, the existing model interferes with it. So what I like to do is go under the browser tab on the left-hand side, go to bodies, click this arrow thingy, and just uncheck the eye icon on body 1. And you can just see the sketch. Go to extrude. Don't click the sketch. Well, you can click the sketch, but it's more easier to just click the sketch on the timeline on the bottom bit where my arrow is. And we're gonna extrude this by 7 millimeters. In theory, it should be 5 millimeters to cover, be exactly flush with the top of the base, but we also need some clearance on top. Not clearance, just some thickness above so we can have a good print and it can be more satisfying to look at and everything. So just click OK. Now we can check the body 1. I don't know why it says body 4 even though it's the second body. Sometimes Fusion just weird. Okay, so now this just looks so weird. This looks like two cylinders on top of each other. It's nothing. What we want to do is remember the threads we created in the first body. We need an inverse of that in the upper body we just created. But as we can see, we don't know where the thread is. We can't even see the thread. We just see two cylinders on top of each other and this little slit thingy for the cable. So for that, there's this wonderful thing in Fusion called section analysis. So it basically works like this. Click the top of the model and we'll just put in 90 degrees in the angle thingy and angle 2. You can play around with these settings. I prefer 90 degrees on angle 2. And we'll just reorient ourselves and voila, you can now see clearly where the threads are. These are basically the threads that we created in a different view. So what we want to do in this upper part, if I just hide the lower body for 1 sec, we want a cutout of the threads on body 1. So for that, it is really simple. You just go on the combine option under modify tab, above modify tab, and you have two options, the target body and tool bodies. First, you will select the target body. It's the default thing you have to do, and the target body is basically the body which you want the thing to be subtracted from, or the thing you want to add something to. It's basically the thing you are working on right now. So what we are working on is the lid. So we'll click the body 4, and now it will automatically go to tool bodies, and that will be our body 1. Remember to keep the keep tools. Check the keep tools icon, because if you don't, then your body 1 would just disappear into nothingness and you will never have it. No one can find it for you. It's just gone. But you can always click undo, but that is too complicated for me. So what we want to do is subtract the bottom base from the above lid. So go to cut and see, we can see the cut perfectly happening. We will click OK, and now we don't really see what happened because it just looked the same. For that, you will now uncheck the body 1, and voila, there is the subtracted body. Now, but there's this weird chunk in between. So to get rid of the weird chunk, I'll just go to the bottom face. Nope, not the left face, the bottom face Fusion. And Fusion is just weird sometimes. Also, this thing is here. This is the subtracted thing for the cable. What we can do quickly is just create a sketch on top of here. Create a rectangle, a center rectangle, and let me just go here and 3.2 millimeters, that, and click enter, and I'm just gonna subtract this. So -5, I think it was. No, -7. Cool. Let me see if anything weird has happened. I don't think anything weird has happened. Okay, now for this weird chunk thing in between, we will just create a sketch on top of here, and the center is here. You can turn off the section analysis here, like just turn that off if when you're working here. I just like keeping it on. It doesn't really distract me that much. So we're just creating a subtracted profile. So 60.2 millimeters, finished sketch. Extrude. Subtract. I'll just subtract it all the way through. Just like that. Actually, I won't subtract it all the way through, and I'll tell you why after we have completed this step. I'll just do it -5. Yep. Okay. Cool. Turn the section analysis back on. Okay. Now we can see everything that happened. Let me just zoom out a bit. Zoom out. Yep. Okay. So we'll just turn on body 1. Now what we're doing right now is purely for 3D printing, because it just does not work if you don't do this for 3D printing. We need some clearances between this tooth and we need some clearances between these two parts. This part and this part. For that, we will just turn body 1 off for now. We will we'll just click 1, click shift, and click the next one. And we will just click every one of them. Okay, I have selected all of these things after a long time, finally, and now we will just go to create, and we'll go to offset, sorry, not in create, go to modify, and we'll go to offset face. All of those 15 are selected, and we're gonna offset by 0.2 millimeters. That is the best settings for a 3D printer. 0.2 millimeter works best, and we'll click OK. Finally. Now uncheck body 1 again, and you can see there's a clear gap between the two. Oh, wait, sorry. It's not 0.2, it's -0.2. Sorry about that, it is -0.2, because you're taking away so you have more space. If you're just adding more space, it will never ever fit together. So the next part is optional. I'm just going to tell you it and not actually do it because it is optional. It varies from 3D printer to 3D printer. If you want, let me just quickly turn off body 1. If you want, you see these teeth here, this teeth, and this teeth. You can select all these 3 teeth on both sides, like this side and this side, and go back to offset and offset them by 0.1 millimeters. Sometimes you don't need this, sometimes you do. I generally am not going to do this, and we'll go back to body 1. And now the threads part is complete. No more threads. Threads are complex and make my fusion go weird. So we just gonna stop with the analysis because we don't need it anymore. We also don't need body 1 for anything anymore except for 3D printing, so turn off that. Now, the hard part. Just kidding, it's the easiest part in the entire tutorial. The actual lamp bit that you saw in the thumbnail, probably saw in the thumbnail, I've not designed it yet. You go to the top bit. Okay, this little thingy is gonna be a problem right now. Let me just quickly fix it. Go to the timeline. Edit feature and -5. Yep, cool. Just filling in some holes. Okay, now to create the actual lamp bit above where the light diffracts and everything, you're gonna go to construct a plane. Click the top surface, and I'm just gonna put in 70 millimeters. It's not too big, not too small, and it's just a nice height for a tiny cute lamp for your desk. So click OK. Now, I like a geometric type of lamp with a cool looking shape which bends and has curves and everything. So I'm going to create sketch, go to the plane that we just created, and I'm going to create a rectangle. I'll go to center rectangle, and I'm not going to actually click on the center. I'm going to click on a random bit and just go wild with it. Yep, that will be my sketch. And now, the magic. Enter Mr. Bean meme. We are going to go to shell. Nope, we're not going to go to shell. We're going to go to loft. Where is loft? Here is loft. Under create, there is loft. We're gonna click the top profile and the bottom circle profile. Just click the profiles and voila, a beautiful, magnificent shape has occurred. An ergonomic, a cool looking shape for a lamp has occurred. But now, if you print this, your lamp would not light up at all because all of this is solid. We don't need it to be solid. To not make it solid, go to shell, click on the top surface, and I'll put in 1.2 millimeters. No, wait, 1 millimeters. 0.5 millimeters. 0.5 millimeters it is. I'll go with 0.75 millimeters. Okay, not working. 0.5 millimeters. It really depends on the shape you make. Then if Fusion is giving you errors, just put the value down and it will work eventually. So this is the thing that I have created with 0.5 millimeters shell. What is around it? Never mind. We'll click OK. And still, it will not give you as much light as it should. So now the part you have been waiting for, well, I've been waiting for, the final step is click the inside circle, click extrude, change your orientation, and just pull it down all the way. Just like that. And look if your threads are gone. If your threads are gone, I'm sorry. No threads gone! Yay! The model is officially complete. Complete. The model is complete. The model is complete. The model is complete. Now what you can do is uncheck body 1. Right click on body 1 or double click if you're on Mac and save it as a mesh. Save it as a 3MF file and save it on your desktop or whatever, wherever you want to save it. Save both of them on desktop or downloads or whatever. Rename them and send it to your slicer software and just print your lamps. If you want to know how to put them into slicer software, comment below, I'll tell you. And do save your files. I've saved mine. And I'll show you the 3D printed result in just a sec. Okay, so this is my 3D printed result. I have really cool gradient filament from Bambulab. It's called Cotton Candy Gradient Filament. So you can see the threads here. You can see the threads on the base. Now you can put the lamp right here and cool, snug. You can screw this on. I'll just screw it off camera or just on camera. I don't know. If it works with one hand, then it's a good model. That's what they say. Okay, yeah, that is screwed. Let me just quickly get a power bank for this cable. So there's the power bank. This is the moment of truth. Let me just turn off all the lights and boom. Look at this magnificent lamp. I don't know how well you can see this on camera, but in real life, the pink color and blue color of the lamp are really, really prominent. So it looks great, beautiful, tiny thing on your desk. Good lamp. Like if you like this video, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and tell me what you want to see a tutorial on next. Thank you so much for watching.